Hey, what's going on everybody? I hope you are all fine. Codito is here. So today, guys, we are gonna start off a series of React.js. So, how we can install React.js? So, first of all, we need to go and open our browser, okay? It is necessary. It is necessary, guys, go and install, let's say we want first of all node.js. Oh, what did I write? Node.js. Okay, we have to go and download node.js, right? Now guys, it depends what system you have. If you have a Mac, you have to go in Mac installer. If you have Windows, you have to go Windows. I have Windows, so I just push here the save, right? Let's save it. I think I've got it. Let's see. Let me see. Yes, I already have Node. Okay. After installing, you have to go and push. Let's see. All this button and then push next and generally follow all the process. Okay. I already have Node.js. I don't want to install it again. Right. What else? Then you have to go and go in CMD, okay? CMD, cool. Just write npx create React app. Let's call it first. It's gonna be our first project. Before doing this, I forgot to do something, guys. I'm gonna create this project in our desktop here, okay? So for this reason, we have to go in our desktop, cd desktop, sometimes desktop, cool. Now, npx create React app. Let's call it first. Okay, we press enter and we just wait for our installation to be completed. Okay, I'm gonna stop for a while until the installation will be okay. So as you can see, now our installation is in process. Okay guys, now as we sorry guys, as you can see, we finished with the installation. So just close the CMD prompt. Okay guys, now find in your desktop the folder that we created, okay, it's the first, and just drag and drop inside your text editor, okay? Here is my text editor, it's Visual Studio Code. I highly recommend it to use it, but you can use whatever you want, for example, Sublime or Atom, okay? Drag and drop it inside your text editor, right? We don't need header, or we don't need this. before doing this, let's view now our terminal. Go to view, terminal, push the terminal, and it's gonna appear this window. npm, let me see what happened. Terminal, yes, right. npm start, and now a client server is gonna open in our browser. Okay, now it shows nothing because we deleted all the rest. So let's write h2 my first app. As you can see, it's your first app here. Delete the div, we don't need it. Right? Okay. A lot of you now is gonna say, oh, I know this syntax is HTML. But in reality, guys, it's not HTML, it's JSX. Okay, JSX. What this means? It means that JSX is a syntax of JavaScript, and it shows us how the UI appears. Okay, this is what we see, the UI, right? JSX is extremely powerful because it comes with the power of JavaScript, okay, and provided us a lot of elements. In JSX, we can use variables and functions. Okay, let's put a variable and call it name equal od. Say as this is my name. Okay, and in order to input here in JSX variables, we have to use curly brackets, this, and just input the name. And look here now. Now we can see our result. This is what we input. Okay, this is a variable name, right? Also we can import here functions. Let's call function full name, for example, equal, not equal, right? Let's put here let full okay, complete name equal right, or let's put something else, guys. od, right. Now also let's put here the complete name as parameter, and we want to return the complete name. Okay, we can call it in curly brackets as we said previously, full name, right? Full name. Okay, in order to appear we have to invoke it, self-invoked, okay, to call it, and here to put the parameter. Okay, the parameter is complete name, for example. Okay, complete name. Look here, guys, we called the function. Okay, in order to call we have to use the parentheses and to put inside the parameter. Okay, this is the parameter that we put it here, and we return it. Okay, and here is the result. Cool. Let's delete it, not need it. delete it. Okay, also let date, let's take the date equal with new date, right, dot get full year, right. Look here what is gonna appear now. Name, let's call it date, right. As you can see, we get the full year, okay, by using this variable here, the date, right. Behind the hood, Babel use GSX, okay. In order to see GSX Babel, it compiles all these things, and it's very hard in order to create it. It creates something like this, guys. For example, Babel. Let's let element. What I'm doing here? Let element equal with use React dot create element. Okay, it puts here the h1 tag, then push the comma, use the what here, let me see, my first tab. Okay, it just take it here. Imagine that you have an app and you use many tags, many h2, h1, div, and put here all these things. It's gonna be very crazy, okay? We will not use these things because Babel use it, and in reality convert this thing, okay, all this thing, it converts it in this thing, right? Cool. So we don't need to do this. So guys, this is the tutorial video, and we talked about GSX, okay? Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Alright guys, now we are gonna talk about rendering element. This tutorial is gonna have to do with theory. Okay, we are not going to do something. It's good to clean up and say generally some important things. For example, what is element, guys? So, element, guys, are piece of code like div or h2, and we can see this piece of codes in our UI here. Okay. Now, what is component? Because there is a small difference between these two things. Okay, components, guys, are in reality splitting or separate functions. Okay, this function here, right? It's a component. Okay, imagine that you have this function. Okay, then you have another function like this. Okay, then you have another function, right? And generally, what you do, you create a main component which has all these functions. Okay, has all these functions, and we have a central function. This is a central function. All right. Now let's talk about rendering. We are going here in index. These are important things. Okay. Before talking about what is React DOM render, I'm gonna talk about the DOM. Okay, we are going to talk about the DOM. What is the DOM, guys? DOM. Cool. Very important. Very important. So, DOM, guys, in reality, it's like a tree which contains all the elements and its property and its properties, okay, of one side. It has, this DOM, guys, has a way of updating. Okay, I put capital here. Okay. Right. Something important right now. Before React, for example, in a classic way, which we have only HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Okay. The only way to use to manipulate the DOM is by calling all these elements, by updating the browser. Okay, imagine that now we have a website, and when we write inside in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript in the classic way, now here, in order to update the DOM, we had to push this button. Okay. And by pushing this, the CSS would also be updated. This way was a little bit slow. Now, it's not necessary to use this way. The reason is because React has a virtual DOM. Okay, has a virtual DOM. Virtual DOM. Okay, virtual DOM which React has. Right. What does it mean? It means that everything happens in the memory of React. This makes React very, very quick. Now it's time to move and talk about React DOM. Okay, what is React DOM? React DOM, guys, it's a package which provides us methods like render. Okay, it's a package. Let's write it. Package. Okay. Which provide us some methods like render. Okay, it provides us render. Cool. And now it's time to talk and say what is this word? We don't have it. What is a render, guys? Mainly we can see it in the class-based component, but here in the central component we have the render. What is this word, render? Okay, render, it means generally update. Okay, It is update. Cool. Also another method apart from render is the hydrate and the create portal. We are not gonna use this method. This is the most important method that we use for updating. Alright guys, this was before going, let's say something else important. So what we got here? Here we got, so React DOM, we have the element, okay, all the component that we render, and here is the destination in which we render all this element, right? And where is this destination? There is a destination of ID with root. Where is it? Let's see. It's here. Index. Let me see. It's here. We are gonna see here. This is a destination. Okay, this is the destination. The ID of root. Right. That was, guys. This tutorial was more for theory, and the next tutorial will be about components and properties and props generally. Have a nice day, guys. Okay guys, now let's continue from the previous project, and now this project is gonna be practical and in reality it's gonna be very important, guys. So we are here. Let's go. Let's delete all this new that we put it inside. Remember guys, the previous component, the previous project course was about theory. This theory was very important about the React DOM generally, the elements and the components. Now we are going in practice. So we are in this folder. Okay, now let's write npm start we had this previously, the preview course. Just delete this, we don't need. Right now let's delete all these stuffs. Right, we don't need. Okay, now guys, now we are gonna talk about functional components, okay, and class-based component and class-based components. Okay. So, as we told, we have two kinds of components, functional and class-based components. Components are JavaScript functions which accepts props and returns elements which show us what appear in the screen. Okay. Now, this component that we see here, let me show you what. This component, guys, now, it's a functional component, right? Cool. Let's create now another component. Remember one thing, guys. As we told, components are functional components in reality, right? Now, let's create a functional function. Let's say first. Okay, we have to return something. So we just write return. Now, what we're going to return? Let's return an h4 tag. Let's write hello from first component. Cool. Now we have to import it inside here. In order to import a component, we have to start from the capital word. Okay. Let's see, here is the first. Okay, we have to write the first here. First. And then we have to close. We have to put this and close the tag. Right? Let's see right now. Okay, we see hello from first component. Look here. Hello. Also, we can write something if you want here. Hello. Let's put something h1. Hello from central component. Let's write component. Look, this is the central component, right? This is a small component. Also, what we can do? We can create another functional component if you want. If we want, okay? Copy this, put it here. Just write second, right? Second. Let's write hello from second. Cool. Okay, we have to import the second. I believe that you understand. Second. Here. Say what I'm doing. Okay, look now what is gonna happen. Hello from second. And with the same process, we can create more and more and more and more components. Okay, also you can do something else here. Look, we can import this component and this component as many times as you want here. How? Look, we got the first here. Okay, why don't we create again the first here? Look, if I write first, like copy and paste it, look here, we got the first component here again. It's like copy it every time. You can do the same again, right? Look, we have 3 components, the same component. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, the same again, right? We can do the same thing for this. Look. Okay, did you see? Another things that we can do, as we told, we haven't told, now we are going to talk. So component have props. Okay, what it means? It has some own properties. For example, if we put here props equal 1. Okay. Now we can go here in function, just write props. Okay, it inherits the props now from this, and we can just write here hello from. Look, if I write in curly brackets in order to take this. Okay, let me see. Also props, you can name it, for example, let's say property. Let's say number, guys. Number. Okay, number. Okay, this is props. We can take the number as props, but I just write the word of props here inside the function. If I write here the props dot number, look what is gonna happen. We see the number 1. Okay, we can do the same things here, the same thing here. Okay, let's put, if we put the 2, look here now, it takes the 2, this, because here we gave the component is the same, but we changed some properties. Okay, every component has some properties. We put specific properties, right? So this component has this property, and with the props we pass the specific property, props.number. Okay, the props.number is 1 because we gave the 1 here. Now the same component has another, we rendered now the same component, but it has another property. Look, number 2. Okay, props.number, it takes the 2. And the same thing happened, let's second, okay, second number, well, let's write 4. We wrote 4 here. Let's see what is gonna happen. How we are gonna create this, guys. Imagine, it's not so difficult. We have to put in function here the props, okay, and now here curly brackets and props dot what did we write here, number. Also you can just write something else, for example blah blah, props dot blah. Look, we have the 4. But in order to be more precise in what you want to write, just write something. For example, if you have a number, write the number, okay? In order to understand what you are doing. It's up to you. Okay. So we can pass props components from parent component to child components. So all these guys are good, but imagine if we are gonna create many components, it's gonna be a house here. Okay, so we can separate these components. How? Look now what we are gonna do. Function. Okay, we can create this component now. Look, let's write first. Okay, first, for example, .js. rc RFC, okay, it's gonna appear this. It's a functional component. Cool. We put here the props, right? As we told you here, we have to put the props in order to take the property. We don't need this right now, or just copy only the container. Control copy, go to first now, just write this. We don't want the return because we already have return, right? Go here, delete all this, we don't need now, okay? Oh, and of course, yeah, first number 1, okay. And blah. First, where is because we imported a component here. Second, we don't have. Let's delete the second. Before deleting the second, okay, let's write something else. Go here. Now, guys, we have to import this. Sorry about this, guys. Now we have to import this component, okay? Here, but before importing, let's write something else. Export. I'm gonna put it here for default. First, okay. Now, what we can see here in a separate component, we are just creating a component here, guys, and now as you can see, and we need to export this component. As we can see here, we export this in order to have the ability to import this component in this central function. Okay, how we can import? Look, we have to go out from this component, from the central here. We have to go out from this here, the central, and import it above here. So import, we have to write the name of this component is first from, put here this line, and we need the dot, look, the destination, and look here, it appears, we have the first here, first, nice. We imported this in central now. We have to import the component here now in functions, okay? The same way as I explained you previously. So we have to write first, look, first, and boom, guys, we got the component, hello from component, look, hello from, and we pass it as props as I told you previously. We got the component. Now we don't have the number, okay? Props.number, because we don't have here the property. Let's write the number equal, let's write 1. Okay, look, now we got the 1, and we can do the same thing. Look, control copy, number 2. Let's put 2. 3. Look, we can create as many we want in this way. In reality, we repeat and we render every time the same component, but we pass here different properties. So now, what else we can do? We can convert it as I told you, also there is another component. Okay, let me do now. We don't need this, guys. Okay, I'm not going to do the same. It's exactly the same process. Also, let me disable this. I'm gonna okay, let's this snippet. I'm gonna show you how to take this snippet. Go here. If you don't have let me see. If you don't do this many times, you forget it. You have to download here, install here the ES7 React Redux ES7 React. Let me see. Don't remember very well. React Redux snippet. Okay, this simple extension for React Redux in JavaScript with ES7. You have to download this extension. Download, install, just press. Okay, this guys. ES7 React Redux GraphQL React Native. I already have it. Okay, here somewhere you will see install. You have to push it and you are okay. I'm gonna do a specific tut about these extensions. Now, let's convert it. So export default class app. I'm gonna write it. I don't want to put it like this. So let's do maybe. Now let's create a class component. I'm just gonna do this thing. I'm gonna disable comment all these guys, and what I'm gonna do right now. Okay, let's close it. Right. So we need import. You know, guys, maybe it's better. Import React from React. Good. We need to put here component. Right. We are gonna create a functional component right now. So we have to start with the name of a class-based component. We create a class-based component right now. The class, let's put app. Okay, class app extends. We have to write the extends and then the component. Okay, we have to put the render method. We have to render it because we create a class-based component. We need the render method, and of course inside the render we need the return. put the parentheses, and now we just have to put the div. And of course we need to export this. Export default app. Right. The reason that we exported it, look, the app here, is because we need to import it here in index.js. Look. If we don't export it here, we will not, where is that? Here. If we will not export it like this, we will not see it here, and generally is not gonna work the app. Right. Now guys, next step that let's see this. Okay, let's take the first. Control copy. Cool. We are gonna put it here, right? And of course we got problem. Look, the good thing with React is that let us know if there is a problem. First is undefined. Of course it's undefined because we haven't imported. Import first from first, right? And now look, we got the first component, like the same process like this, okay, like this component, right? We can also do the same. Look, control copy, paste, number 2. The same thing, right? Okay, this was the class-based component, right? It's good learning it because later we are gonna talk about in the next tut, I think. Maybe in 2 tuts we are in the next tut. In the next tut we are gonna talk about the state. So I will not explain right now the difference about the class-based and functional component. You have to keep in mind only that we have 2 components, 2 kinds of components. This is the class-based component, okay, and you have to create it like this. Also, if you don't want to put this here, you have to write here React dot component. Look, it's the same, but it's better the previous way. Look, putting this, and you don't have to write here the React. So guys, this was the tutorial about the functional and class-based component, and generally how to input things, properties. So see you in the next lesson. Okay guys, now we are back. What we are gonna do right now, let's delete the first and comment this. Before doing this, let's put npm start here. Okay, now we are gonna talk in this course. We are gonna talk about the state, this dot set state, the constructor, how to change the state, some basic things. So we are not going to say things in very details, guys. Everyone who wants React and everyone who wants to learn things in a very in depth, the best way is go and see the React documentation here. Okay, go here and see all these things. We are not going in very depth. My purpose is to learn you the basic. Okay, in reality I believe that you don't want the very depth knowledge. So guys, in order to create, let's put here a P. I am. Cool, nothing else. Nothing else. So in order to create an initial state, we have to use the constructor method, like this, guys. Also, constructor takes by default a super, and we have to put here the props which inherit the super. Okay, and now inside constructor we have to put the this dot state equal, create an object and put a name here, guys. Okay, and the name, for example, let's put my name, or let's put my channel name. What I'm doing. Okay, cool. Now in order to get this initial state, or to be much more clear, in order to see this initial state in our UI here in our browser, we have to do something like this. Okay, put curly brackets because we want to install the variable. In reality it's JavaScript. We have to write this dot state dot imagine name. Okay, and now look here. Look here, guys. Now we get this. Look, we get this name here. Okay, by putting this variable here. Okay, you see that this dot state dot name, we got an object. Okay, we have to write this dot state dot name, this dot state dot name. Very clear. Complete. Something else, you can pass it also. You can pass a state from parent. This is the parent component. Look, the parent. All this, the class app is the parent. We can pass the state from parent to child component, right? The child component is this component that we already explained in previous lesson. Okay, look here. Let's name it, or I'm gonna do it later. Okay. Okay, in order to pass it, now we have to put curly brackets now because we have variables. Okay, this dot state dot imagine name. And look here, guys, we got this name also in our first here. Look, we take it as props. If I change the props here, let's name it name. Okay, there is no this name. We have to change also the name. Where is here to put the name? Okay, and now it's correct. So something very important, we can pass state from parent to child component with props. but we cannot initiate a state here like in reality. We can put a constructor here and create something like this. It is not allowed, these things, guys. Only we can make it only in class-based component. So now we want to change this state, okay? Our propose is to change this state, to write, for example, something else to when we push a button, okay? Let's create now a function and call it okay, it has been created automatically. Function, let's call it change. You know, it is already a function, we don't need a function. Let's call it change and put here what? So in the only way to change the situation, guys, is to use a very important method which is called this.setState. Okay, we put curly bracket parentheses because it is a method, and now we need an object here. What object? We need to put here this.setState. Oh, what I'm doing, guys? No, sorry. We already have the this.setState, and now we need the object. Okay, we need the name. Look here, this, and we want to put something else here. What? Let's put my real name now. Okay. Let's call the change. We can go here, or you know, guys, let's better create a button. Cool. And then let's write change name. We need on click, right? And put here, when we push on click, it's important. When we push, we want the change. Cool. This dot change. Okay, now we call this dot change, and if we push, look, it's not gonna work. The reason, because we need to bind the word this, and where to do this? Here in constructor. We need to write this dot change equal this dot change dot bind. It's a method. We need to bind the this. Cool. Now if we are gonna push, look, it changed, guys. Okay, this set state is called when we push the button, and it changes the situation. It put the thing that we inserted inside here in the name. Look. Now okay, I don't like so much this way. We can just delete it and create a fat arrow function. Okay, we don't need a change, just do something like this. Change equal, this is a better and newer way of creating a function, and just write here this dot set state no 9, what I'm doing, yes, and here put again the name, and just put here the this. Okay, now if you are going to push now the button, it's gonna work, because we don't need to bind this if we have a fat arrow function. Okay, also now we don't need the constructor, guys. Constructor we can create it in an easier way. We can use constructor also if we want to use local storage. It is very important, the constructor as a method, but right now we can make things a little bit easier. So we can use also the state equal without constructor, and just write again name codito. Right, let's push. Boom. This way is much more elegant, and this function is much more elegant. Right. What else we want? So we talk about the state, which is the initial situation, the set state, which is a way in order to create another situation. Let's talk about some important difference. I'm gonna have this. Okay, what we got here, something very, very important about this is a functional component and a class-based component. Okay, a functional component is a JavaScript function which accepts props, as I told you previously. It accepts props as an argument and returns element. Okay, a class component requires extend from React and create. It is something very important, guys. Class-based component, as you can see here. Let me close this. A class-based component has a render method. Look here, a render. The functional component does not have render. It is a JavaScript, and it has only a JavaScript function which has only a return. Right. Also, another difference is that functional component does not have a render method. Okay, you can see a render method inside the functional. On the other hand, the class-based component, it needs a render method. Look here, the render method. Functional component is stateless because it does not has a state. You can read all these things. Okay, very important. We don't have a state here in order to initiate things, but we can bring state only with props, guys. Very important. So, guys, this was our tutorial about state and set state, and the difference about functional and class-based components. The next tutorial will be about life cycle methods. Hello everybody, I hope you are all fine. Conditional here again. So we are back, as we say. So guys, today we are going to talk about the life cycle methods and generally about the most important life cycle methods. I'm not going to talk about all life cycle methods. So for everyone to learn in details about other life cycle methods, so can go here in React documentations. Okay, here can learn about all life cycle methods in detail. So I'm not going to speak about all these methods. So let's get started. npm start. We are gonna start our folder, the first that we name it. Okay, we are here that we were changing. So right now guys, let's open the inspect element. Open your console. Yes. Now let's create the first lifecycle method. Is the constructor. We use it also, it takes props, and also it is necessary to put the super with constructor always and props. Good. And now let's take this, control copy this, comment, and of course if we use constructor we have to use this dot state for initiating a situation, right? Right. Good. Name code dito. Let's see what happened. Yes, now it also works. Right. In a previous lesson we explained a couple of things about constructor. Now we have to tell that always guy, constructor fires first. So it is the first one. Let me use this tool. So constructor, it is the first that fires, guys. How do you know this? Do we know this? So we can just put console.log here. Look, constructor I am first. Okay, look here, you are ready. When I push the reload button here, look, we see I am first. We initiate a state with the name of code dito, and this state it runs first of all application, guys. After the first running of constructor, the second let's make I am second. Render. Also, let's put, why not, let's put number, right, like this. 1. Nice. Okay, look now what happens, guys. When I reload, the first one that is gonna start is the constructor, always, if we have a constructor. And the second one that is gonna start is the render, always, guys. So, the third render, as we told, render is for updating. Generally, it updates the website. Now, another and third important lifecycle method is the component did mount. We usually use this method, guys, in order to bring data from API with Axios or fetch, and it is very important. And so, for after the first rendering, we take this data with component did mount. So let's use it right now. We got the constructor. Let's make component did mount. I'm gonna just copy this. Right, and let's write third. Component did mount. No, I'm third. Now it's correct, and here I'm second. I didn't write correct. Second. What I'm writing, guys? Second. So, guys, look. When I reload, okay, what I see the first one, who is a constructor without apt. Then the second one is the render. If we don't have a constructor here, the first one that is gonna run is the render. Okay, now we have a constructor, so the first one is a constructor. Second, the render, and the third one is component did mount. Okay. If I press, look, I press the button and look. The second one is the render. Now, I'm gonna talk about two more lifecycle methods. I don't want to extend this tutorial in another lifecycle methods. I don't think that another is the other are so important. You can see the documentation in React from the less important. So now let's talk about the component did update. It will fire when component updates, when takes info from previous state, guys, in reality. So component, let's see, will component did update here. Look, there are some components here that with this line. Maybe React disable this component. So this is component did update. Okay. Let's make here rev props rev state Okay, let's see what is gonna happen. Component did update. It's also use. Okay, did you see guys what happened right now? Look, when we press here the reload, okay, initially we have this situation here. When we press, look, when we press here, look, what we are gonna see. We are gonna see the render for sure, okay? Then we are gonna see the component did mount, which as I told, it fires when component updates, okay, when we push the button. And what we see here, we see the name, okay, we see the previous name, the object, as we say here. Let's move now and talk about the last component life cycle that we are gonna use. Is the component let's see, will unmount. Will unmount. Component unmount. Okay, this is component will unmount. Okay. We usually use this life cycle method in order to clean, for example, to DOM. If we mount something and we want to unmount it in order not to take memory in our application. Imagine that we have a clock and the clock is mounting on the DOM in component did mount, let's say, okay, and then we want to unmount it in order not to take memory. So we have to use the component will unmount, which will in reality extract this component every time. Component update will unmount. Okay, let's close this. Write 5. Let's write 5, guys. 4. Okay, we don't have something in the DOM, so we can see amount. So that was about the life cycle method, guys. You will understand it better if you already don't understand all this life cycle in a project. When we will finish this series, I don't think that is gonna last for a lot, maybe 2-3 videos we are gonna create, and then we are going to start and make a very simple project for let's say for beginners or for people who don't know many things about React, a very simple project. And then I believe that we are ready to start with MERN stack. We are gonna create a simple RESTful API and show how we can take data, how we can create data with MERN stack, and then just take the data and then create a project with MERN, a simple project. Okay guys, that's for today, and don't forget to subscribe and like. These things are very important for the channel. It helps channel grow. Even if you don't like the project, if you want, you can press the like button, guys. Have a nice day. Hey, what's going on everybody? I hope you are all fine. Today we are going to talk about conditional rendering. So let's delete a couple of things. We don't need all these things here. Console bye here. What is this here? I don't know. Why do I have this here? Okay, don't want this. The change, bye. Component did mount, did update, bye. Constructor, don't need this. Let's uncomment this, right? And let's write here situation. Let's put the false, right? Now, when we render something, for example, when we have a situation, we want to bring specific things. For example, let's put, before putting, why don't we start the server? What I'm doing, PM start. Okay, we are ready to continue. Now guys, let's say if this .state.situation is exactly equal with false, what we want to see. Let's create here h1 Sarah and h2 h1 again Nick. Right, cool. So copy. So not dot else. We want to return it, guys. I forgot to put the return. We want to return, copy this, comment all this right now. What we are gonna do, also put return here. Look what is gonna happen. We are going to see only the Sarah. The reason, because we say if this dot state dot situation equal with false, with which it is false, we want to return the Sarah. Okay, it's false. Look here. If we put here true, look, it's gonna change the situation. We see that Nick here. Let's put again false. Okay, there is no need to make all these things. We can make only these things in order to do specific things. For example, to close a number, as you saw in my tutorials. So, now what does it mean? Why it brings Nick if we have? Because by default, this dot state dot situation inside an if, it brings the true always as first argument. In order to have false, you have to put this. Now it's correct, right? And you can change here your situation. You can put, for example, true. Okay, you see the opposite. Okay, this is one way. Let's go to another way. Go inside, put curly brackets, just write this dot state dot situation, right? We want. Okay, by default it brings true this. Just put here this and write. If it is false, what we want? We'll copy. We want to bring this. Else, what we want? We want this. Look now, what's gonna happen? And we bring Sarah, right? Okay, if I okay, brings Nick now. Now, if as we told you previously, it's like this, the same process. Okay, now this is the second way. Let's use a third way. Let's comment this. A third way is here. We can write return this dot state dot situation and we want Sarah. Okay, I will copy this, right? It does not bring this because by default this means true now. In order to have it false, we have to put this. Look, it brings Sarah, guys, right? Okay guys, this was the tutorial about conditional rendering. You will see all this in project. Only in project I believe you can understand it better. This was just an introduction and showing you some ways. I hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next tut. And don't forget guys to like and subscribe. Have a nice day. Hey my friends, how are you? I hope you are all fine. Codito is back. I'm just kidding. So guys, today we are gonna make, I believe this tutorial is very nice and good. I'm gonna show you ways of importing CSS in React. Let me see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 ways I'm gonna show you guys. Maybe there are a lot of ways for sure, but these ways I usually use these ways. So now let's delete all these stuffs that we have. Let me know the div, this, yeah, okay, let's create here div class name equal with central. Let's put an h1. Okay. Hello everyone. Cool. Let's put h4. Codito is back. Yeah. No, yes, yeah. So now the first way and most important way that we can use in order to bring here CSS, for example, we can create here, we are in app, okay? We have to import the app.css. How we can do it? Import dot, okay, and app.css. Cool. Let's open and app CSS. I'm gonna delete all the gonna delete all these things here, and let's see what I have here. I want to see the central, okay. Let's write dot central app dot central. Let's put a background, guys, okay, background color, why not? Let's put SSS. Okay, we see that we have a background. I'm gonna disable, always I do this, all the default margin. Gonna put it 0, padding 0, and box sizing 0. Okay, let's go central. Let's make a margin here. Margin. Let's put 50 pixels. What I'm doing now? 0, right? All right, and let's make a width. 40 pixels. Margin. Let's put auto. Yeah, cool. A padding. Let's say 10 pixels, okay, in order to see a padding. Okay, now it's good, I like it. I'm not going to focus more in this. So this is a way to put CSS, for example, dot central h1. We can change the color and just write color red, for example. Oh, what did I do here? color red. Look, we can put color H2, we can make it green. H4 we have, no H2. Right, we did it, as you can see. Okay, I'm gonna disable, no, I'm not gonna disable. Okay, let's disable it. Only this. I'm gonna disable only this right now. This is the one way, the first way that we can import CSS, and the best way, of course, to my opinion. Another way is we can create a style object. For example, we can go here and create a const my style, for example, equal with, can put here a color, let's say red. We can say letter spacing, we can say 5 rem, for example. Background, here you should use capital camel case, guys. Color, remember, let's say green, right? And now we can go here in central, oh no, in H1, okay, and just write my style, right, equal with, right, and put here no my style. What did I do? Right, style equal with my style, and look now, oh, letter spacing is very 1, 2, 10, 1. Look, let's say 0.1. Look, okay, we inherit all these properties, guys, from my style. Okay, this is the second way. Also, you can create another my style, something like this, control copy, put it here, my style, let's write 2, and just put yellow, for example, and you can write another properties, okay, and put here, let me see, style equal with my style 2. Look, okay, look here, guys, and here you can put the background color. Let's choose a purple, for example, purple. Look here, we got this. This is the second way in which we can create things. I'm gonna disable all this right now. I don't want all this, delete, right? And let's go and show and see the third way. The third way is with inline style. You can just write style here, equal, and you can put one pair of objects and 2 pair of objects. We want 2 pair of objects in order to put inside inline style. And you can just write now, for example, background, background color, let's choose red. Of course, I haven't right. Let's see why. Now it's correct. Okay, you can see we have inline style. Then we have to put comma here and go. You can just write now color. Again the same process. Look, let's choose white. And again the same process. You can choose let's say padding 30 pixels. Okay, look. Right, this is the third way, guys. I'm gonna disable all these ways now. And also you can do the same process here, like this. Control copy, for example. Okay, you can choose here let's say what, black. Okay, look, and you can change things. Alright, this is the third way. The third. What I do now? I'm disable all this now. What I'm doing? Okay. Right. Okay, right now I'm gonna show you another. Just close, or open a new window here, or you can close it and just write npm install styled components. Also, this way with style components is very nice. You can use things dynamically with style components. Everyone who showed my projects, I use style components in there are some big projects, I think. If you see my channel, you can see it. There are style components. Let me see, styled. Okay. Right. We have to import styled from styled. I think that I didn't write correct. I think I had this suspect. So don't want to spend time. So installed styled npm. This is the correct way, guys. Yes. Let me see. I don't remember, guys. There are so many things that you can remember all these things. Come on, where are they? Okay, I believe this is the correct way. Control copy. Right. Go here. Put. Damn it. npm install styled components. After the installation, we have to import the styled components. So import styled from styled components. Yes, cool. Now go here and just write let's write div wrapper, central wrapper. Cool. Const. Let's copy all these. Central wrapper equal with styled dot div, guys. Okay, and put these two things here. Okay, we want to put, we go to the central, copy this, the central wrapper, right? Just go and put here central wrapper, right? And everything now must be inside the central wrapper. Let me see what we are doing here. Right? Central wrapper. Let's say here background. Sorry guys for a while. Let's continue. Background. Let's say let me see. It's been a long since I used style components. Let me see how does it work. Background red, maybe it does not need this. Yes, now it works. Look. What else? Here you can influence the background of the wrapper. Let's put a padding here. 20 pixels. Let's see. Oh, we don't need this. Background red, padding 20. Don't understand now why it does not work. 20 pixel. Yes. Okay, we don't need this. Let's put this. Right, we got 20 pixels. Let's say 10. Right. Let's go inside the, let's let the padding go now inside the central and make background. I'm gonna change the background and make it green. Right. As we can see here, we have this background. Let's comment. Make it green Okay, we can change the color and make it right, and so on. We can make the same thing and write things from H1, H4. So guys, this is the way to use this is some CSS ways I told you. Personally, I like using only this way, the classic is the best way. Okay, we can have the CSS here and not get confused with CSS in JavaScript files. Also, I don't like this way. Sometimes in style way here in style CSS is good. Also, I use style component in my project, are very powerful because you can bring things dynamically. I suggest it. This was, guys. If you like the tutorial, don't forget to subscribe and push the like button. Have a nice day. Hello everybody. So I decided to make the last tutorial in React, and I'm gonna talk about how to get APIs, get data from the server, guys. Okay, we are gonna use Axios. You can also use Fetch. Axios is much more easier. I believe this is the last tutorial. I'm not going to make another tutorial about React. You can see another videos. I believe these tutorials are the most important. Now in our project you will learn more about React. I believe that only with project you can understand things, and after these tutorials we are gonna make projects. It's the best way to understand. This series was about some important stuffs that are necessary to learn. So let's get started. Let's delete these things. We don't need this. Let's delete the style to this. What happened? I messed up somewhere. Okay. Right. Don't know, want this. Style I don't know, want. Let's now we are going to control clear npm install Axios for making request. So let's go now in this URL. Okay, how you can go here, just write JSON placeholder. After this, guys, go here. Let's go. Okay, we want users. This very simple thing, right here. You can see it's an array. We have objects. We are going to map all these objects. Nice. This is a good example of requests. So we are okay. Let's go here in render. We are gonna create as I told you guys, keep in mind something before let's start. npm start. Sorry. Now keep in mind that as I told you previously, in order to take data with request and Axios or fetch, we have to use component did mount. So component did mount Cool. Now we are gonna use here Axios dot get, no, with capital, Axios, okay, Axios dot get, yes, right. What we want to get? We want to get the data, right? Let's write URL. Let URL equal with, I'm gonna grab the URL, this URL, okay, control copy this and put it here. We want the URL, right? After this we want a promise dot then res equal res dot data. Let's make a console log in order to see that we take the data, okay? Just put a cat here and just put a log, okay? We don't need this here. Paste. And as we can see here, look guys, we are retrieving the data. Look, we got all the data, right? Now, okay, we don't need this. Let only the data here. Dot catch. We need a catch if something happens. We don't want to break all the app. So just write log error. Cool. Now let's go here. We are gonna keep only the let's see, we are going to map to retrieve all data. For this reason we are going to use the, okay, something that I have to tell you, very important guys, is we are gonna make here a state equal with let's write data, okay, data. The beginning we don't have data, we have an empty array, right? Then after this we write this dot set state, and here guys we just put here data will be res dot data, okay. Let's see, now we are gonna take this data, we are gonna map data dot map, right? This dot set, what I'm doing, this dot state guys, dot data, okay, dot map, cool. Let's put item. We are going to return the data. If you don't want, let me show you something very important, very important. So if you put curly brackets here, we have to put the word return, and then put this and create a div, right? Now if you don't want to use the return here, what you have to do? You have to put parentheses and then create a div, right? Div. So with parentheses you don't need to use the word return, but with curly brackets, as I showed you previously, you have to use the word return. Okay, let's use parentheses right now. So what we want, let's put h1, and here we are going to take the item dot, let's see, I don't remember, I'm gonna here item dot id. Okay, we are going to take the id, the name, and the username. Item dot id. And here we are, we have 10 IDs, and of course warning, each list should have a unique key. Yes, in the central div here, guys, after the map. What is the central div? The central div is the div after the map here. Okay, we have this central. We have to put a key because it is specific, and say item dot id. And now we can see the word here. What else we want? Let's put here the h3. Inside we are gonna put item dot name. And here we are. We take all the names. Let's take the h4 item dot last name. Let's see, and we can see it. Why? Because there is no S option. Maybe, let's see. No, we are gonna take the username. Let's see. Yes, we got the username. Okay, something else last that we are gonna take. Let's take the email. The email, and I don't want to deal more with this. Let's put a paragraph. Okay. Item.email, and boom, guys, nothing else. Okay, email. This is how we can take data from a database or from somewhere else with Axios. Okay, right. What else? What else? I think we are okay. We are not going to speak for another things. Also, we can. Okay, I don't want to confuse now with async await. Just keep this way. Right? Okay. I don't want to make another tutorial about React series, guys. This is basic about React, so it's the end of the series, and we are going to get started with MERN and simple RESTful API in the next tutorial. Have a nice day. What's going on, everybody? Today I'm gonna talk about forms. So it's gonna be the last series about class-based components and the general set state and states. In reality, there are a lot of things in React, guys, but I'm gonna cover only the very basics. So in projects you will understand things better and more details about something. So right now let's create a form. Okay, I've already have it. Let's call the terminal npm start here, guys. Okay, we are just waiting for the terminal to start. And there is a name here, yes, because I have some CSS here. I'm gonna delete all the CSS in order to make it together. So name, let's put an input. Okay, we have text. Also, let's make a placeholder equal input name. Cool. Yes. What else? Let's write here a class name with inputs. Very inputs. Very nice. Let's copy this thing. Control copy. Let's write here what we are gonna write. Input message. You know, here we want the text area. Let's write class name equal with inputs, the same class name. Cool. Let's put a placeholder input message 1 2 3. Cool. What else? Let's also, okay, I'm gonna put only these things, guys. Button submit, let's say. Cool. Yeah. Now let's give a little bit style. So let's write form width 40 pixels just for design. Couple of things. Margin 0 auto. Let's write where is here. Let's write here display flex. Cool. Justify flex direction. Let's give a flex direction a column. Right, very nice. And now, guys, why don't we just put a margin top, let's say 50 pixels. Cool. Margin top. Because we override here, let's put it here. Nice, nice. What else? I'm gonna just put the form dot inputs margin bottom of 20 pixels, let's say. Let's see, command reload. Okay, not bad. I'm gonna leave it as it is here. Okay, okay. So I'm not gonna design this, right? So our purpose is here to describe a couple of things about the form. So first thing that we are gonna create, let's also open the inspector right now. Let's make a controlled form, guys, controlled form. So we are gonna put here a state equal with, we need name, right? After this, let's put message, cool, and let's put then, what to put? Results. Okay, this for letter. This for letter. Right, guys. Let me see. Cool. Now we have to put. We need to put here an input, a value equal with this dot state dot name. Okay, and now look now, guys, we can't write anything. If you push your keys, your button keys, nothing is gonna happen here because we don't have control of these things now. Okay, in order to have control, we have to push on change. Okay, equal with a dot, what I'm doing, this dot handle change, what I'm doing, right? And we are gonna create this method or function right now. Handle change equal with, of course we need to put a federal function. We want to target this element, this the name. We want to target it every time we write something. So this dot set state, and generally now we need to bring the new, we want to bring the new state. Okay, every time we push a button we bring a new state. We push a key, I mean, from our laptop. So the name is gonna be target.value. So we are going to target. Look, now we target this value. We have access. Okay, because we have the handle change. So we want to see what happens. So here, log this dot state dot name. Let's see what happened to this word right now. We are here. Look. Look what happens. Every time we write something, it is updated. So let's make the same thing for text area. Exactly the same thing. let's say handle change input. Okay, let's copy this, put here handle change input. Cool. Let's make another function, change area. Okay, let's put here the message. Cool. We need the message again, pretty nice, and we want to use this now. Let's see here, the handle change area, just copy it in our text area. Let's write here on change equal with. Of course we need this dot, and of course we need the value, which is gonna be, oh, what did I do? I need the value here. What happened now? This dot state dot message. Okay, and let's make a console log. Let's write something, and you see the message right now, right? If you write here. Okay guys, let's continue. I stopped for a while because I was talking with someone on the phone. So let me see what I was doing. Let me see for a while. Input. Okay. Now let's deal with the submit. Now you see that when we press the button, it reloads the page, okay? Because we have the form, it is inside the form, and the form by default, it is reloading. So in order to prevent reloading, what we have to do? So we have to create a function. Let's name it handle submit equal with fat arrow function. We have to put this arrow here, put the an event. Now it dot prevent default. Okay, what does this method? This method, let's call it now handle submit. Copy this, go to form, put on submit equal with this dot handle submit. Now if we push now, let me see something here. Also, let's create a console log in order to see what we are doing. Let's put yes clicked. Okay, now if I push, look, we see the yes click, and you can see the reloading again. Okay, if I press, I can see the reloading. This is the way to prevent the reload from form. Now let's, so as we can see, we create this. Now we want to take all this thing and to push it somewhere here, okay, in order to see here in UI. Let's do it. Let's do for this reason we created the results. Okay, let's write now here First of all, let's put an h1 and put this dot state dot map j dot results cool dot map, right? Let's put an item here. J. We don't need the h1 here. I'm gonna put it here. h1. We need the item dot. Let's see, item dot. Name. Okay, there is no this now. Why don't we put here something like this? No, there is nothing, guys. For this reason we can see it. We can put by default something, right? Let's write name Nick, right? We got it. Now let's put the things that we are creating here. Okay, we want to see it here. What we have to do, first of all, we got the handle submit, right? Delete it. Yeah, let's put here let item equal, let's create an object, and here we want what? We want a name and message. Put it here, name. Let's put here what? This dot state dot name. Cool. Also we need the this dot state dot message. Yes, we are getting all this and creating an object here. Then what we can do? We can create a let result let's put items equal with, we want what we want here. We want here, guys, the previous state of results. Okay, we want all the previous state. Let's put, how we can take it? By putting here the 3 dots. It means we take all this dot state dot results. We take all the state. It means we take all the state of this, all the state, and we need here the item to put inside in array all this. Now this dot set state, we want to upload the state, and the results is gonna be equal with this, with items. Okay, let's see. Let's write a. Boom, we got it. Let's write SSS, SSS, we got it. Okay, we see that we create things. Okay, let's reload it now so it remains because we have it. Let's delete right now this, we don't need. Okay, or what I'm doing, I'm gonna let only the array, guys. Right now I'm gonna put od hello from od, submit od hello. Why this happened? Let me see. Name message. Yes, because I have to put here. Also, let's put. We don't have the item dot message. Okay, let's write od hello. Right. Sarah bye. Okay, let's say Patrick yo. And here we are. We created these things. What else? Also here, guys, let's see if I can do something else. Also, you can do something. Let me see. Another way of creating it is putting items dot push, right? What? The item. We want to push the item. And let's see. Suppose it works. Yes, this is another way. Okay? Don't learn these ways, but don't get confused with this way, because with Redux we can't use these things because it mutates things. So the best way is the previous way that I show you with destructuring, like this, right? Okay, guys, that was the tutorial. This was very simple for a basic. We are gonna make something like this, but in a better project. Okay, that was. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, you know what to do. Push the like and also subscribe if you are not subscribed.